Kentucky, now off back-to-back losses against Vanderbilt and Florida, playing an Auburn team that hasn't won since week 3. They are winless in the SEC. Kentucky at home, 2.5-point favorites. In your eyes, is there an opportunity for Auburn to get their first SEC win in this game at Kentucky?
I think there's a really big opportunity for them to get their first win in this game. I could see it happening in an ugly fashion. I think the keys for Auburn to get a win in this game is limit the production of Barry and Brown. We talk about it every time we talk about Kentucky. I think he broke one of the SEC records for kick returns or returns for touchdowns. This man is incredibly fast. Slow him down. He's going to get the ball. Make sure that you slow down Dime, Sumo, Carbaye, the usual, and just not turn the ball over. I think that's the defense hasn't really been a challenge for them this season. Just don't turn the ball over on the offensive side. Those would be the three keys for me when I think about this game for Auburn winning.
Yeah, and up to this point in the year, if you're Auburn offense, turnover issues. All year we've talked, about how good Kentucky's defense is. Every week, I think our voice gets a little bit quieter. Is Kentucky's defense still good? Like, do they have the ability to shut off this Auburn offense?
I think their defense is still good. The games have pointed to there is some cracks in the dam, right? Water is able to get through it, and I think there's more cracks in that dam now than when the season started. You point to the Ole Miss game, you point to the Georgia game; those kind of feel a little bit far away, given the last football that we've seen from the Kentucky defense. Maybe it's a little bit of this defense just getting tired from the season, the wear and tear. The offense has been serviceable, but when you have the defense in the field this often, you're bound to have some cracks exposed. So is this defense still at championship level? I don't think so right now. Is it a good enough defense to slow down Auburn? I think we'll see, right? Like if your defense is legit, as we have been saying, as everyone has been saying, this is the game to show it, right? I'll give you a mulligan against Florida because Florida's offense has shown steady improvement. It wasn't a pretty game for them against that offense. And so that's something that I would imagine Auburn would be looking to learn from in this game.
Yeah. Both teams at this point, like this is a must-win game for. I mean, I've seen both coaches at this point kind of making statements that are kind of like, keep my job, taking shots at other teams. Like it just feels like a little bit out there because Kentucky at 3 wins right now, Auburn at 2. Both coaches kind of on the hot seat. I mean, whichever team, for either team, Kentucky especially, you have to win this game pretty much to go bowling. Like,
yeah.
This game, if you lose this game, I don't see the path to go bowling for them.
Yep. And I think that's kind of, whenever we talk about what this game means for different teams, I look at, well, what's the goal in front of them, right? So Kentucky's goal, you start the season off, you're in the SEC championship discussion. That's your idea, right? I didn't believe that. That's not what my projections said when the season started, but I did believe they were going to be a 7-8 win team. The season's played out. Some games you should have won, you lost. Some games you should have lost, you won. You beat Ole Miss. This game against Auburn is an opportunity for them, like you said, to get that fourth win. I'm looking at it as more of an opportunity to see if Brock Vandagriff is your guy going forward. He's only a sophomore, junior. Obviously, you have a guy behind him. You have the recruiting. You want to see that he can be the guy to step up and lead you to win games. That's going to be the key to this Mark Stoops-led team being successful going forward. And Auburn is the test in front of you to prove that. For Auburn, it's a game where you just want to put everything together, right? Peyton Thorne didn't play terrible last game. He played fine, right? Condre Lambert-Smith, I always talk about it. What is he going to get? His every time. He's going to get his every time, right? He's second in the SEC in terms of touchdowns. This is an opportunity for him to turn up against a team like Kentucky and show out and show that he's one of those guys. It's a game that I wouldn't want to touch spread-wise. I really don't think what's going to happen because it's like how do you say, okay, Kentucky's a better team, I'm going to pick Kentucky. The last week didn't show that performance, right? How can you say that Auburn is a bad team? It's like, well, they almost beat Oklahoma, they almost beat Missouri. They, all intents and purposes, they dominated that game against Missouri. Missouri just came back at the end. And so,
Yep.
it's a toss up of a game. That's kind of where my head is at with it. Rushing game is somewhat equal. Jarquez Hunter is obviously a better running back. The quarterback play is somewhat equal. Brock Vandagriff on paper is better. I think he makes less mistakes. I don't think he makes a ton of plays though.
Yeah.
Defensively, Auburn's defense, I think they don't get as much respect as Kentucky's defense, but I think Auburn's defense is about similar. Um,
Yeah. I
given the
agree.
last couple games.
I agree. Had the offense at Auburn played well, the Auburn's defense would be getting just considerably more credit because of what they've been able to
Absolutely.
do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, at this point in the season, Kentucky a little bit better against the spread. I think if this game was played in Auburn, I'd be picking Auburn. If I think this, since it's being played in Kentucky, I like Kentucky in this one. What do you think? Who do you have in this one?
Yeah. I think in this one, I'm going War Eagle Nation. I
Oof.
think Auburn's able to find a way to get a win in this one. I don't think it's pretty. I'm going to say 17-14. I think that's well below the under. But that means that Auburn would cover, Kentucky would not cover. I think it's just a ugly, SEC football game in this one. So I like Auburn in this one. War Eagle Nation. Let's see what you got.
All right. I like 23-17 Kentucky.